A 26-year-old Asian American influencer walks into Judge Caprio's courtroom for a parking ticket. Should take 5 minutes. Simple case. But she's visibly agitated, checking her phone, sighing loudly, tapping her foot. Judge Caprio begins explaining the violation. She cuts him off mid-sentence. "Can I just pay this? I have really important things to do." Judge Caprio's pen stops. His expression shifts from patient to stone cold. "Ms. Chen, where you are right now is more important than anything on your schedule. You don't seem to take American courts seriously." What he does next, ordering her to spend 1 hour in a jail cell, shocks everyone in the courtroom. Subscribe and drop your city, because this lesson in respect hits different. Tuesday afternoon, 2:15 p.m. The bailiff calls. Case 13492, Jessica Chen, parking violation, handicapped space. A young woman walks to the podium, mid-20s, designer athleisure, phone in hand, AirPods still in one ear. She's scrolling Instagram as she approaches. Judge Caprio looks up. "Good afternoon, Ms. Chen. Please put your phone away." Jessica glances up, annoyed, and reluctantly slides the phone into her jacket pocket. But her body language screams impatience, weight shifting, eyes darting to the clock, heavy sighs. "Ms. Chen, you're cited for parking in a handicapped space without proper authorization. The fine is $350. This is a serious violation because—" I know, she cuts him off. "Can we just do this quickly? I'm really busy today." Judge Caprio pauses. "Ms. Chen, I understand you're busy, but this court proceeding requires your attention. As I was saying, handicapped parking violations are taken seriously because—" "Yeah, I get it. Look, I already said I parked there. I was only inside for like 2 minutes. Can I just pay and go?" The courtroom goes quiet. People are looking at each other. "You don't interrupt Judge Caprio. Not like this." Judge Caprio's voice gets firmer. "Ms. Chen, I need you to stop interrupting me. I'm trying to explain the nature of your violation and give you an opportunity to present any mitigating circumstances." Jessica rolls her eyes, actually rolls her eyes, and pulls out her phone again. "Your Honor, with all respect, I don't have mitigating circumstances. I parked illegally. I'll pay the fine. But I really need to leave. I have a brand partnership meeting at 3 and a content shoot at 4:30. "Put the phone away." Judge Caprio's voice is sharp now. She puts it away, but her frustration is obvious. "Can we please just move this along?" "Ms. Chen, do you understand why handicapped parking spaces exist?" "Yes, for disabled people. I get it. I made a mistake. But seriously, I have really important things to handle today, and this is taking forever." Judge Caprio sets down his pen, looks at her directly. "Really important things. More important than this court proceeding." "I mean, I have business commitments. People."
"Waiting for me. I can't just sit here all day." Judge Caprio leans back, studies her for a long moment. "Ms. Chen, what do you do for a living?" "I'm an influencer, social media content creator. I have 600,000 followers across platforms." "I see. And you have a brand meeting today?" "Yes, exactly. A major partnership, very time-sensitive. So if we could—" "No." Judge Caprio's voice cuts through. "We're not rushing, because you need to understand something fundamental about where you are right now." Jessica's impatience breaks. "Your Honor, I'm trying to be respectful, but I literally told you I'll pay the fine. What else do you want from me? I have a business to run. People depend on me. Content deadlines, brand deals. This is my livelihood." "And this is a court of law." Judge Caprio's voice is ice. "Not a drive-through window. Not a place where you get to decide the pace. Not somewhere you interrupt a judge because you have really important things to do." "I didn't mean to be disrespectful, but you are being disrespectful. You've interrupted me 4 times. You've checked your phone twice despite being told to put it away. You've rolled your eyes. You've made it abundantly clear that you think your schedule is more important than these proceedings. Jessica's face flushes. That's not what I meant. I have professional obligations and, Miss Chen, let me ask you something. Do you think American courts are serious institutions? She hesitates, sensing danger. Yes, of course. Then why are you treating this courtroom like an inconvenience? Like something to rush through so you can get back to your really important things? I'm not. Look, Your Honor, in my world, timing matters. If I miss this meeting, I lose a $50,000 brand deal. If I'm late to my shoot, I have to reschedule with 10 people. My time is literally money. Wrong answer. Catastrophically wrong. Judge Caprio stands up, something he rarely does. The courtroom goes dead silent. Your time is money. I see. Miss Chen, let me tell you what your problem is. You think because you have 600,000 followers and brand deals, you're more important than the legal system. You think your content deadlines matter more than respecting judicial authority. That's not what I'm saying. That's exactly what you're saying. With every sigh, every eye roll, every interruption, you're saying, Judge, I'm too important for this. Hurry up so I can get back to my real life. Jessica realizes too late that she's in serious trouble. Your Honor, I apologize if I seemed. Miss Chen, you didn't seem disrespectful. You were disrespectful. And here's what concerns me most. You parked in a handicapped space. A space reserved for people with disabilities who genuinely need it. Because it was convenient for you. And now you're treating this court the same way. Everything is about your convenience. The courtroom is riveted. Judge
Caprio isn't done. You said people depend on you, that your livelihood is at stake. Let me tell you about the person who couldn't park in that handicapped space because you took it. Maybe they depend on accessible parking. Maybe their livelihood depends on being able to get into buildings. But you decided your 2 minutes of convenience mattered more. Jessica's eyes are watering now. I didn't think about it that way. That's the problem. You didn't think. You acted out of pure self-interest. And you're doing the same thing right now in my courtroom. Subscribe to Judge Stories if you believe respect isn't negotiable, regardless of follower count. Judge Caprio sits back down, opens his computer, types deliberately. Ms. Chen, the standard fine for handicapped parking violation is $350. That's what you came here expecting to pay. But we're not at a standard proceeding anymore. Jessica's voice shakes. What do you mean? I mean, you've shown contempt for this court through your behavior. Under Rhode Island General Law 12-17-1, I have authority to hold individuals in contempt when they obstruct or interrupt judicial proceedings. Her face goes pale. Contempt? You interrupted me 4 times. You checked your phone after being told not to. You rolled your eyes at judicial instruction. You made it clear you think your brand meeting is more important than this court. Your Honor, I apologize. I was wrong. I'll be respectful. Please. Ms. Chen, here's what's going to happen. Your fine is still $350 for the parking violation. But for contempt of court, I'm ordering you to spend 1 hour in a holding cell. The courtroom gasps. Jessica's mouth drops open. 1 hour? In jail? For what? For disrespecting this court. For interrupting a judge. For making it clear you don't take American judicial proceedings seriously. But my meeting, my brand deal, I'll lose $50,000. Judge Caprio's expression doesn't soften 1 millimeter. Ms. Chen, you just proved my point. Your first concern isn't that you showed contempt for the legal system. It's that you might lose money. That tells me everything. Please, Your Honor, I can't. Your schedule is about to have a 1-hour interruption. Bailiff, please escort Ms. Chen to a holding cell.
She'll be released in exactly 1 hour. Jessica panics. Wait, can I call someone? Can I reschedule my meeting? You can make one phone call from the holding cell. But Ms. Chen, here's what I want you to understand during that hour. Where you are right now, in this courtroom, facing consequences for your actions. This is more important than any brand deal. More important than any content shoot. More important than anything on your social media calendar. But because this is about the rule of law. This is about respect for institutions that hold society together. This is about learning that your follower count doesn't make you exempt from basic human decency and respect. The bailiff approaches. Jessica is crying now, mascara running. Your Honor, please. I understand now. I was wrong. I'll pay any fine. Just please don't make me— 1 hour, Miss Chen. Use it to think about priorities, about what actually matters, about the difference between importance and self-importance. She's led away, sobbing, past rows of people watching in stunned silence. Jessica spends 1 hour in a holding cell. Not a dangerous jail, just a small, bare room with a bench and concrete walls. But for someone used to constant connectivity, constant validation, constant content creation, it's devastating. Her phone is taken. No Instagram, no TikTok, no responding to DMs, no filming content. Just silence, solitude, and the crushing realization of what just happened. She makes her one phone call. Tells her manager she'll miss the meeting. Tells the brand she has an emergency. Doesn't mention court, doesn't mention jail. Just says, family emergency, and hangs up, crying. 60 minutes later, the bailiff opens the door. You're free to go, Miss Chen. She walks back into the courtroom, makeup ruined, eyes red, phone still confiscated until she leaves the building. Judge Caprio has her brought to the podium one more time. Miss Chen, you've served your hour. How do you feel? Her voice is small, broken. Horrible, Your Honor. Embarrassed. Ashamed. Good, because maybe that means you learned something. Did you? Yes. She's crying again. I was so disrespectful. I treated this court like it didn't matter, like my brand deals and followers made me more important than the law. And I was wrong. So wrong. Judge Caprio's voice softens slightly but remains firm. Miss Chen, you're 26 years old. You've built a following, created a business, found success. That's admirable. But success means nothing if it comes with arrogance, if it makes you think rules don't apply to you. I know. I'm sorry. You parked in a handicapped space because it was convenient. You disrespected this court because you were busy. In both cases, you put yourself first without thinking about consequences or other people. That's a character problem, not a scheduling problem. She nods, unable to speak. $350 fine still stands. You have 30 days to pay. And Miss Chen, I better never see you in my courtroom again for contempt. Because next time it won't be 1 hour. It'll be a weekend. Understand? Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. I'm so sorry. She leaves the courthouse 3 hours late for her entire day. The brand meeting is rescheduled. The content shoot is canceled. Her perfectly planned influencer schedule is destroyed. But something else happens. That night, instead of posting her usual content, she posts something different. A tear-stained selfie with a long caption. Today I learned the hardest lesson of my life. I disrespected a judge because I thought my brand deals were more important than the legal system. I was wrong. Judge Frank Caprio gave me 1 hour in a holding cell to think about my priorities. Best hour of my life. I'm sorry to everyone I've disrespected by acting like my success made me special. It doesn't. Humility restored. Lesson learned. The post goes viral. Not the kind of viral she's used to. Not glamorous, not sponsored, not curated. Raw viral. Real viral. Comments flood in. Respect for admitting this publicly. Judge Caprio doesn't play. You learned a real lesson. Influencers need more of this reality check. 2 weeks later, Jessica receives a DM from the brand she missed the meeting with. They saw her post. They respect her honesty. They reschedule the partnership at an even higher rate because her vulnerability content performed better than her usual posts. 6 months later, she's still an influencer, still creating content, still successful, but different, more humble, more respectful, more aware that follower counts don't exempt anyone from basic decency. Someone asks her in an interview, "What's the most important thing that happened to your career?"
God suffers with us. And you do
Getting
that
put in jail for an hour by
consistently.
Judge Caprio. Sounds crazy, but it's true.
What you do for God suffers with us.
Subscribe
And
to
you do that
Judge Stories now for moments when influencer arrogance meets judicial authority, and when 1 hour in a cell teaches what 600,000 followers couldn't. Jessica Chen walked into court thinking her schedule mattered most. She left 3 hours late, 1 hour in jail, and infinitely wiser. Judge Caprio proved that courtrooms don't care about your follower count, your brand deals, your content calendar. They care about respect, about taking responsibility, about understanding that legal proceedings aren't inconveniences. They're the foundation of civilized society. This is what happens when an influencer forgets she's a citizen first. When professional success becomes an excuse for disrespect. And when one judge reminds a 26-year-old that where she's standing, in a court of law, is more important than anywhere else she thinks she needs to be. Jessica learned the most valuable lesson of her influencer career. You can have 600,000 followers, but in a courtroom, you're just another person who has to show respect like everyone else. Comment below. Was 1 hour jail too harsh, or exactly what she needed? Let's discuss.